G'day guys, Mick here. So today's video is going to be one for pretty much everyone that owns a vehicle, really. As with many of us, my headlights have gone to shit. So a couple of days ago I purchased myself a headlight restorer kit. I've never used these things before. Been a bit skeptical about using them, didn't know what to do, didn't know whether or not they'll actually do the job or not. So I purchased the Rain-X Headlight Restorer kit. It was 30 or 40 bucks or something from Super Cheap. So, you know what, my headlights are screwed anyway. What can it hurt? I'll give it a go. So I've just done one, quite impressed with the result. About to do the other one. And I'll give you a look at the process of that. So, not going to be a big video. And yeah, then I'll give you a look at the end results. Eventually I might do a bit of a run through in regard to how they hold up after a month or two and driving through mud and all that crap. So, alrighty, so I'll swing the camera around, give you a look at the headlights. Okay, so I'm not going to film the entire process of this because it does take a bit to go through. Basically in the headlight restorer pack, and this will come in any pack I believe that you buy, you get a lubricant, a sealant, the polish, a little microfiber pad, and 3 scrubbing brushes. The simple directions are clean your headlights off, get all the crap off them, spray the polishing pads and the headlights with the lubricant, so a bit of lube. Starting at number 1, working your way down to number 3. There's different scrubbing patterns for each. After each one you've done, clean the headlight, wipe the headlight off with a clean rag, and then start on the next pad. Then you come through and you spray the restorer, which is that one, and then the sealant. So I'll bring everything back up and we'll get started on it. So as you can see, these are pretty filthy. So starting on pad 1, which is that one. So you will notice when you get these, they've got a different level of coarseness. So it's just like a wet and dry sandpaper or something, and you've got different grades. So each one has a different level. As I said, I've already done one headlight, so you can see crap on there already. Bit of that. Spray it. Now for pad 1 it says to do in a diagonal motion. So now straight away you'll notice this with every level, you start getting the milky sort of substance on there. And whether or not the camera picks this up or not, on pad 1 it's a little bit more of a yellowy, sort of creamy colour, whereas pads 2 and 3 start to get a lot whiter, and that's when you get the oxidisation and the crap off it a bit more. These headlights are pretty bad, so it's going to take a bit of scrubbing. Alrighty, so there we are, finished with pad number 1. So as you can see, it's quite filthy. And you will notice the headlights will probably actually be a bit more milky now, a bit more cloudy. So give it a wipe off. Now I'm just noticing here, I've still got quite a bit of discoloration and crap around, so I'm actually going to go over again with pad number 1. Just to try and get into it a little bit more because, as I said, these headlights are pretty bad. Okay, edit off. Okay, so there's a run after second time over with pad number 1. Again, there's still some discoloration up in this corner here, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So now we'll move on to pad number 2. Pad number 2 says up and down, left and right. Okay, so there's pad number 2 done. You can notice that the residue on there is now a little bit whiter, not quite as creamy coloured. I will quickly note while I'm here too, you don't actually have to take the headlights out to do this. I've taken the headlights out for a couple of my own reasons, one of which being that I'm putting a new grille in today as well. And the other partly being because my back doesn't like bending over. So there's number 2. She's coming up a little bit better now, but that's nothing yet. Okay, so now we'll move on to pad number 3. And again, that's the diagonal motions. Now you start to see it's coming up a lot clearer. It would be nice if Rain-X made the pads a little bit bigger. I think they'd be a bit easier to work with, but they're okay. Fingers don't like it after a bit though. Alrighty, so there's the residue. It's almost just clear now with pad number 3. And give it a wipe. Looking much better than what she did before, that's for sure. Very happy with that. There's still some marks in here which I don't know, they just don't seem to want to come out. But she's a 4-wheel drive, I'm not expecting absolute perfection. Looks like something maybe a little bit more caustic has been spilled onto there or something, I don't know. Alrighty, so that's pads 1 through to 3, done with the lubricant. Now we'll go over to the headlight restorer. I'll use the supplied microfiber cloth for this. It says to put quite a bit on, so don't be stingy. But of course places are going to tell you to use a lot because, well, the more you use, the more you need to come back and buy more. So again, the headlight restorer cream that I'm using now, or polish, it states to rub in a circular motion all over the unit, all over the headlights. I'll leave that sit for a minute, let it dry off a little, and then it says to rinse off with water. Okay, as you can see, that's dried up pretty well now. Got a bucket down under the camera with some water and a rag. So now we'll give that a wipe out. This is where I first, when doing the other one, where I first noticed the massive difference. Okay, so she's dried off now. She's still not perfect. You know, it's not as good as it will get. But it's almost there. Now we'll use the sealant. The sealant will protect against future damage, so it will help it last longer and stay cleaner for longer. I'm a little bit disappointed with the marks up top here, but I just can't seem to shake that. So now for the sealant. This kind of reminds me of a children's cough medicine I used to use, like a berry flavoured cough medicine I used to have as a kid. Just the smell of it. And then it says to rub that in. It doesn't actually say whether to use a circular motion or what. It says a clean cloth or paper towel, so I'm just using paper towel because I've got it here. And there we go, all done, all polished up. Got the sealant on, everything it's got to have. Now look at the difference from that to where it was at the start of the video. So, yeah, again, my first time ever doing this. They come up a hell of a lot nicer. The colour does settle a little bit. There is a bit of moisture on there still, so it's still a bit shinier. I'll grab the other one. Alrighty, so there's the other one. Both done, but both been cleaned, polished, sealed. So compared to what they were at the start of the video, it's an absolute massive difference. Hell of a lot better now. So now I've got to go through and run the grill back in and run these back in to the car, and I'll let you know in a couple of months, probably on Instagram or something, how they're holding up once they've been off road and through a bit of mud and a couple of washes and whatnot. Alright guys, so that's it for the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, thumbs up. Alright, peace, and I'll take care, and I'll see you out on the tracks.